Okay, let's get some more practice with recursive formulas. So notice what's happening in this one. I'm asking you to find A1, A2, and A3. Now, in order for a recursive formula to work, you have to be given the first, if not more, terms of the sequence to use the recursive formula. In this one, we only need the first term. You're told that A1 is equal to 8. And you're told that the nth term is what? Now, it's easier to think in English than perhaps in symbols. I mean, we have to combine it with a little bit of math operation language, but it might be easier to say in English what you're doing here in this formula than read it as a sub n minus 1. So what is this formula telling me in English? A sub n is equal to negative 3 times a sub n minus 1. That's the symbolic reading of it. What is it telling you in English to do? It's telling you to take negative 3 times something. What? What would that something be? What is a sub n minus 1 in relation to a n? Isn't a sub n minus 1 the term, if you order the outputs or list of terms in the sequence, isn't a sub n minus 1 the term that comes before a sub n? So what is this formula telling you to do? To get a sub n, you take the term that comes previous to a sub n and multiply by 3. That's saying it in English, right? Thinking about it in English. Was it negative 3? I missed it. Thank you. Yeah. Well, what does that mean for a1 equals 8? What if I want a2? So n is 2 in this case. What do I do? What do I do to the term that comes before a2? What am I going to do to, oh, I know the term that comes before a2. I know that's 8. What am I going to do to that to get a2? Multiply by negative 3, right? So I want that sort of specificity as opposed to using the idea of the general formulas. Okay? So, to get a2, this formula just says multiply by negative 3. So negative 3 times 8, what is that? Negative 24. Okay, then what does the formula say to do to get a 3? I multiply, negative 24, the previous term, by negative 3. And what does that generate? 72. Positive 72, right? Okay, so here's the big test. Don't answer this right away. I want everybody to have a chance to think about this. What would I do to get a 4? Everybody write it down. See if you're right. See if you understand. Be honest with yourself. If you don't understand, that's fine. We'll make you understand. But write something down. See if you understand. Here, I will say this. Here's what you don't want to start doing. It just messes you up if you say, I want a4, so I'm going to use this formula, which means I'm going to plug it. Don't do this. Don't write this down. I'm going to plug in 4 here and subtract 1. This kind of it messes you up. You're not thinking in practical everyday language terms. I wouldn't do that. I mean, you could get the right answer potentially that way, but I wouldn't think that way. So what would you do? How do you think about it? What do I do to get a4? Negative 3 times 72, the last output. That's it. That's how you think about it. At least for a recursive sequence. And then what does that turn out to be? Negative 216. There it is. Okay? Does that make sense? It's a different type. It's not harder, but it's a different type of thinking than what you're used to when it comes to manipulating formulas.